All right, everyone, let's go ahead and call our meeting to order for this Wednesday, January 14th. We have nothing to report from our closed session, and let's go ahead and start with our flag salute. If I can ask Councilmember Nelson to lead us in the flag salute. Thank you very much. Let's have our roll call.
Councilmember Karpinski Costa.
Present.
Councilmember Nelson.
Present.
Councilmember Schaefer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Middleton.
Here.
And Mayor Lopez Taft.
Here. Next item, please.
This meeting of the Citrus Heights City Council is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast and DirecTV Uverse cable systems. It is also live streamed at citrusheights.net. Tonight's meeting replays on Monday, January 19th at 9 a.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. And this meeting can also be viewed on the city's YouTube channel.
All right, thank you so much. Next item, please.
Next item is approval of agenda.
All right. Do we have a motion or
Move
any
approval.
discussion?
Second.
All right. Moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. We have an agenda. Next item, please.
Next item is presentation number 4, recognition of outgoing Mayor Dr. Jana Karpinski Costa.
That would be me.
All right. Well, I always think it's such a wonderful time to do this transitional meeting and honor the outgoing. You know, it is hard work. I'm 1.5 meetings in, and I already know how hard you work because you were our mayor for over a year. And so I am honored to do this presentation to you. I'm so excited to recognize you as our outgoing mayor. Of course, we have plaques and other things and wonderful things for you. But before we do that, because I want to do that in front of our dais here, before we do that, do we have any words from my fellow council members?
Doctor, it's been a wonderful year of us coordinating, dressing up together, going to events, and I'm looking forward to the next year where we can have a little bit more fun and you don't have to be so serious, but you have done an excellent, just absolutely stellar job at your duties. You've taken them seriously, and I don't envy you and all the emails that you had to handle, but you did it with grace, and thank you so much for taking the time of over a year to help serve our community.
I'd like to echo that. Thank you very much for your leadership last year. I learned so much, I feel like, with you at the helm. So it was a great start for me on the council, and I was really happy to serve my first year under your leadership.
If I may. And former mayor, Dr. Jana Karpinski Costa, you really did take over at a difficult time. And I think this was August of 24. That made it a really extended period of time with a lot of commitment. And I appreciate the fact that you made yourself available and accessible, and a job well done.
Thank you. I want to thank whatever it is you're about to do in front of the dais. And I want to thank you for your kind words to the public. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve as mayor for over a year. And, you know, when I was looking back and I thought, what was the best parts and what were the worst parts? And so the best part was Monday with the mayor, because Brett Daniels started that, and when I would sit there, first sometimes nobody would show up, other times David Shelton would show up or other people, and to help someone solve a problem right then and there. Our staff was so accessible when people come. I don't do social media, but someone told me that on social media there's comments like, we have a council that doesn't listen to us, or people complaining all the time. And there we are, ready to listen to you at City Hall for 3 hours every week on Monday morning. You could show up. Some people did. And it was always neat when I solved someone's problem. And staff has been always so good at participating with whatever the issue was. So that was the best part, because I always felt mostly times good, except for the guy who bangs his fist. But most of the time, it's a good feeling. And then the worst part is making speeches, so I'm going to quit right now. I had to make the speeches, so that's going to be your turn now. You're good at that. You're Toastmaster.
Madam Mayor Lopez Taff, if I could say something too, I appreciate that.
Absolutely, Ash.
Former Mayor Dr. Jana Karpinski-Costa, I just want to say on behalf of the staff team, really appreciated your leadership as mayor over the course of your extended term, and also just the relationship we had too as we collaboratively worked through identifying and investigating and finding some solutions to some challenges that were being faced by some of our residents and businesses. So appreciated the collaborative work that you had with our team and with myself and your service to the community.
But it's important to realize that even though we're elected by district, we all serve the entire population of the entire city. So you can come to any person, any one of us with a problem. You don't have to live in our district, and we listen. And to know that, how many cities have that, can say that we're accessible? We all are. So, and I want to thank my fellow council members for the easy job you made it on this end. You know, there was some times on the other side with some of the problems in the city, but you guys have made it an easier job. And thank you for filling in on my Monday with the mayor when I couldn't make it. So, and thank you, Mr. Feeney, because working with you has been just a joy. And doing State of the City twice. I got to 2 of those. Those were neat.
All right, and with that, let's convene down in front of the dais.
All right, we'll take a couple. 1, 2.
Well, thank you all. Let's go to the next item.
Our next item is public comment, and members of the public may address the city council during the meeting. Please fill out a speaker sheet and give it to myself, the city clerk. When you're called upon to speak, please step forward to the podium and state your name for the record. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and the mayor has the discretion to adjust the allotted time. There is a countdown display that will flash red at the end of the allotted time. Consistent with the Brown Act, the city council is prohibited from engaging in a discussion or taking action on any item not appearing on the agenda. And Mayor, at this time, I do not have any speaker sheets.
Okay, is there anyone who would still like to speak now that they've thought about it for a little bit? Okay, let's move on to the next item.
Next item is comments by council members and regional board updates.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and start with Dr. Jana. You probably had a pretty busy
I did.
month.
I did. You know, it was Christmas last month. So my neighborhood, Area 10, wait a minute. Now I can see better. Last time, we had a little update from Area 6 on their, how they did the Christmas stuff. Well, Area 10, we delivered food to 12 households, and so I dressed up like Santa, so I did that one day. We also had a potluck. Our neighborhood and Lieutenant Herman came, and we were so grateful he was there. And so, because it was right after Christmas, and that was pretty cool. I did do a mosquito meeting in December, but nothing happens in December because the mosquitoes are all wintering it. And so it's the time we clean all our equipment, and all the staff takes their required training courses. And so we get updates on what they're up to. So it's basically Christmas lunch. So not much there. I did go last Saturday to the Chip Chip Hooray event, where we offer free microchipping to pets. I will tell you, we have some really adorable dogs in our city. And, I mean, there wasn't one who was ugly. They were all so cute. It's like one of them I just want to take home. I thought it was a donation. And so the staff, the volunteers did a great job. And so that is such a great event, such a great thing to get. I think they chipped more than a dozen dogs, I'm not sure, and a kitty who was there. But anyway, it's a great event. And this morning I did have a sewer meeting, and we are going to just go to once a month on the sewer if we can instead of twice. So that's better for, you know, except the agenda was real short today. We're still doing the Harvest Water Project where we are recycling water and making connections to the farms in South Sacramento so that they don't have to drain the aquifers underneath, and so they'll be able to use recycled, good water for their crops. It's huge, a project. It's like $600 million project, and so we're still, you know, putting the pipeline in, 62 miles of pipe or something, to the on-farm connections. So we're still working on that, and I think that's it. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so very much. Councilmember Schaefer.
Thank you, Mayor. So I didn't have a lot of meetings. I had an RT board meeting where we elected a new chair. Bobby Singh Allen is now the chair of RT. And we elected a new chair for, and vice chair for SACOG. That would be, oh my gosh, her name just left me. Gallego. Anyway, so new chairs there. Other than that, not a lot going on. I did have the opportunity to go and, this is on the 31st. I went to an event at Must Be Cow, the new Korean barbecue restaurant here in Citrus Heights. It was amazing. Then I got another invite to, with the city manager, Feeney, to be there for Marcus Allen's presentation for Channel 10. Another great event, very early in the morning, about 6:15 a.m. They don't open till 11. They're not typically open for breakfast. But really nice crew. The manager there, she's amazing. They have an amazing crew. The food is remarkable. For what you get, you know, that I think it's pretty reasonable. It's $40 for all-you-can-eat sushi, Mongolian, or not Mongolian, Korean barbecue. Just amazingly, the food there is just a remarkable. I highly recommend going by there and trying that out. It's great. So other than that, just kind of hope everybody had a great holiday season. What's that?
RT Flex.
RT Flex, yes, RT Flex. Yes, I'm actually out promoting, I'll be speaking to a couple of neighborhoods to talk about RT Flex. If you're over 65 years old and you pre-register, this is an Uber-type service where you can call and request a ride if you're a senior or if you have a disability and you qualify. You have to pre-register. It's $250 for a ride within the zone. The zone is quite large. It'll go anywhere kind of in Citrus Heights. It'll go up to the Kaiser Medical Building in Roseville. It goes all the way to Folsom. That's our zone, and anywhere within that zone is $250 each way. Great service.
Curb to curb.
It's curb to curb. It's just like, very similar to Uber. I would say that but the vehicles they use are minivans, and they're in amazing shape. So anyhow, certainly try out, if you're over 65 or you have a disability, try RT Flex. It's great. It's a great program. Thanks, Mayor.
All right, Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy New Year, everyone. I didn't have any board meetings since the last council meeting, but I did attend the Shop with a Cop event at Walmart on December 16th for the first time. And I just wanted to share a little bit about that event. It was really neat to see all of our law enforcement out there and the excitement on the kids' faces and their parents. And just cool to observe this other way that they engage with the community and are out there building relationships with them. So, yeah, very cool to see.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's see, on the 16th, I was also at Shop with a Cop. I always love making that event, and whenever I can, it's just so tremendous to kind of sit in the background and watch them at Walmart and watch kids go around trying to pick out stuff, and the conversations that you get to hear are really amazing, and it makes you realize how truly impactful this program is to the youth when they're trying to pick out gifts, not just for themselves. Our officers really had to encourage them to pick out gifts for themselves. They were like, can we get some appliances? Can we get this? And it was just so heartwarming. And then on the 18th, I participated in Operation Holiday Cheer. Once again, our police department out there doing the things that really build a solid community with our youth. And it was my first time going to actually the new location where we do it, and just seeing that and seeing the kids, having a blast, getting their Christmas gifts, having fun, the officers being, if you can imagine our very stoic officers being goofy, it was just great to just watch them kind of like cut loose for a little bit and really enjoy what the holiday season truly means. And after that, we had a bunch of birthdays. So my husband's birthday was on the 4th, my mom's was on the 12th, mine's on the 18th. So we're just doing the birthday gig. And at some point in time, my son decided to flood our house. So now I'm doing home repairs. So yay, Happy New Year.
You still made it to 2026. Thank goodness. Well, Happy New Year to all. Thank you for coming to our first meeting of the year. I have been busy as well with meetings. I think with whatever the mayor does is you have a meeting 3 times a week. I attended Shop with the Cop at Walmart. Wonderful event has been mentioned. Operation Holiday Cheer as well. It was really neat how I'm one of those operations people, and I marvel at all things very organized. And wow, was this thing organized. They would drive up, they'd wheel out their gifts, and they were done in 10 minutes, and they had a follow car just in case all the items didn't fit in their car. What a neat program. What a neat program that we do for our residents. I attended on the 19th, a very cold day, the Mitchell Village Project Acceptance Ceremony. But what a surprise. This is a beautiful park in the middle of Mitchell Village. Who knew? We should almost do a treasure hunt in the city for all of these wonderful treasures we have in our community. On the 5th of January, I was invited to speak to the REACH Board. Thank you very much, Kathy Morris and team, for inviting me to share just my vision on volunteerism and service this year. So thank you very much for inviting me. On the 9th, I have been invited to be one of the project coordinators for Citrus Heights along with Carol and Steve Balco for our big day of service. So if you're looking to fill up your calendar, the big day of service is officially May 16th. Put that on your calendar. It's a Saturday. Big community meeting coming up on the 29th, 5:30 at Sunrise Community Church. If you are looking for volunteer opportunities, check out our website, bigdayofservice.us. And if you're looking for opportunities outside of the big day of service, you're just not available that day but want to give back to your community, check out our city's volunteer hub. On the 12th, I am now on the board of our Sacramento Valley Region Cal Cities Board, and Citrus Heights will be the host city for their June meeting. Very, very excited about that because it is on economic development. And we have some wonderful experts that I would like to share with my peers. And so that is happening in June. I attended just yesterday, it seems like a long time ago, but just yesterday, the Sacramento Library Board, we had our budget audit meeting, and so we accepted the audit from the auditors as presented, and we have a budget. And this morning, I listened in on the Sac Steps Continuum of Care board meeting online. There is a lot of concern happening with delays in funding, projected delays in funding from HUD, which is a federal organization, starting in March, and there was quite a robust discussion on how to fill the gap and mitigate the loss. They do have some other funds that, fortunately, they had a reserve fund that can be utilized, but it is still a concern because we're talking about millions of dollars. And so considering homeless housing, et cetera, and service is a big concern in all of our communities. I wanted to listen in on that particular board proceeding. And with that, let's go ahead and go to the next item, please.
Our next item is the consent calendar. Item number 5 is the approval of minutes. Item number 6 is the appointments to regional boards and committees. And item number 7 is the declaration of exempt surplus property.
I want to pull item 6 for something.
Okay, we have a request to pull item 6. Anyone else?
But I'll move the other two items, 5 and 7.
I second.
Okay, we have a first and a second for items 5 and 7. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, let's have it for number 6.
Wait, number 6, the reason I pulled it was Kelsey has agreed to be the alternate for STA instead of me. She did a good job last year, and so if Portia can't make it, I'm sure that you would do a much better job as an alternate than I would, and it saves me having to get a ride to the trip downtown, so, because I don't drive.
Okay, it sounds like that's been previously negotiated.
I talked to
you're
Kelsey,
good?
yes, and she agreed
Yes,
that she
I
could do it.
accept.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So Amy, if we can make that amendment, and with that amendment, can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to item 6 as amended.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Next item, please.
Next item is Department Report number 8. The subject is Sayonara Drive Habitat for Humanity update.
Good evening, Council. Allison Bermudez with the Community Development Department tonight. It's been a while. This Sayonara project, Habitat for Humanity, has been going on for a year or so, and we thought it appropriate time to give you an update. A lot of progress over the past few months and some final steps coming forward. So I'm happy to introduce you to Leah Miller, the CEO of Habitat, who will walk us through what's happened and what's coming next.
Hey, Allison, how do you turn this guy on?
Oh, I think I figured it out. Okay, we're in action. Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council members, and staff. My name is Leah Miller. I'm the President CEO of Habitat for Humanity of Greater Sacramento, and I'm joined by a couple of my colleagues here with me tonight, Michael Gordon over there, and Rochelle Disney over here, also able to answer any questions you might have. But I'm thrilled to be able to come to you today and share some of the updates and progress that have happened since I know quite a few were out there for our groundbreaking and our wall raising last year. It feels like it wasn't all that long ago, but so many great things have been happening out there, and I'm excited to be able to share that with you this evening. So you see that one picture there is from the big wall raising day for those of you that were out there. And it's not doing the thing. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we have a picture of the streetscape. We'll be able to share with you a picture in the next slide that shows what things look like to date right now if you were to drive down there. But just as a quick brief overview, this is a 26 home development that provides affordable home ownership opportunities for first-time home buyers. The total cost of this 26 home development, including both infrastructure and construction, is $8.5 million, bringing the average cost to each unit to about $320,000. Vertical construction started in August when we had that wall raising, and the scheduled completion of the full 26 homes is October 2027. And there are a lot of partners involved in making this project possible. Of course, there's the City of Citrus Heights, which has been an incredible partner to work with, have really enjoyed working with the staff and with each and every single one of you who've been a part of it. We also have funding from Cal Home at the state level, community project funding at the federal level, Habitat local sponsorship support, and community support from many individuals. Here you see the street as it currently looks. This is our first 8 homes that we're building. We've broken up the development into 3 phases, and we'll kind of go through each one of those phases in the coming slides. But this shows you what it looks like today. This picture was taken this morning, blue skies out there. Within this 26 home development, we have 5 different elevations, and we have 5 2-bedrooms, 10 4-bedrooms, 12 3-bedrooms, and 2 2-bedrooms. And you can see there the features of each home. These are all-electric, energy-efficient homes, in large part to a partnership with SMUD, who's helping us with that all-electric piece, energy-efficient appliances. They're EV-ready. They have solar, rooftop solar, and battery storage, again in partnership with SMUD, and drought-tolerant landscaping. And when all of these 26 homes are complete, this community will be home to approximately 120 people from 26 hardworking families here in our community. You know, we oftentimes say at Habitat, it takes a community to build a community, and there's nothing, I think, that shows that better than when we bring people together through building a community like that we're doing here in Citrus Heights, or one of our events like Rock the Block, when we bring together so many people, so many hands and hearts, to help bring these homes out of the ground and make them a place that people can call home in creating an actual community. And so, yes, the City of Citrus Heights is a huge partner, but there's some fun sort of numbers I thought it'd be interesting to share with you. Over the past 5 months since we raised those walls in August, 330 volunteers have come out and put in over 2,400 hours. And when we looked through the whole development, kind of looking at averages, we're looking at more than 6,000 volunteers coming out and putting in over 40,000 hours. Coming into Citrus Heights, some of people who live in this community, some people from around the region, all coming in to help build a community that's going to provide these affordable homeownership opportunities for hardworking families in our community. And on top of that, family partners, as part of their partnership with Habitat, themselves will be putting in 13,000 hours. Each one of them is required to put in 500 hours of their own labor helping to build their homes and helping to build the community. And on top of that, community partner contributions total just around $2 million in helping to fund these homes as well. Just threw in a few pictures here for you to check out. You'll see that one over to the left with the turquoise shirts. That's city staff out there. Look at them. Getting there from the beginning of the day, I think before they all worked hard and left sore. But we also have additional volunteer days available for yourselves and city staff if they'd like to come out in any of the phases that we have coming up at Sayonara. And so here's a little update on the various phases that we have. Phase 1, like I showed with you in that picture that showed the current state, those first 8 homes, those families were selected back in August The above-ground construction commenced in August 25, and the completion of those homes will be May 26. We will look to sell those homes in June 26, and then a really exciting thing that we do at the completion of a phase of homes or the completion of a community of homes is we have a dedication. And what that is we bring together the community partners who help make the development possible. We invite all the volunteers, the sponsors to come together, and all of you, of course, are invited, and I hope you can attend because it's a really beautiful way to see what's possible when a community comes together to help build homes. And there's a gift-giving ceremony, a handing over to the keys to these families who had already signed their mortgage documents and their house is already on record. And then the community is invited to tour those homes. So the dedication date for that one is June 6th at 10 a.m. And we'll make sure that that gets sent out to you as well so you can mark your calendars. Also coming up, we have Phase 2, which we already have, that's 4 homes. The families were selected in January. They're starting their sweat equity. Those homes are starting this month as well. And the target completion for those will be October 2026. And we'll be having a dedication again somewhere around that date, date yet to be determined. And then there's Phase 3, which is the application period that is opening up just in a couple weeks, February 1st through March 30th. Construction on those homes starts November 26th, and the target completion of those is October 27. And the dedication date for those homes is yet to be determined. For both Phase 3's dedication and Phase 2's dedication, we'll be able to know those dates as they become closer and the homes continue to progress. I want to share with you a little bit about outreach that we've been doing to make sure we're getting the word out in the community and marketing this opportunity for applications from individuals throughout the community, but specifically here in Citrus Heights, to be able to apply for this first-time home ownership opportunity. But I wanted to highlight, before I jump into those highlights there, 2 of those pictures. You'll see there the picture on the top is the wall raising day, and you'll see a group of families that were there on that wall raising day that will soon call that community their home, and the big giant smiles on their faces. It was the first time they had the opportunity to touch those homes that were coming out of the ground and see the community of people that are brought together to raise those walls. And as you might imagine, the dream of being able to afford a home to purchase for their own is something that's felt like a dream for every family that we serve. But to come out and see all those people there at a wall raising and touch those homes makes that dream start to feel real. And those smiles were really special to see as they raised the walls on those homes as a whole. And then right below that is a family that has been selected, and they are a Citrus Heights family. They live and work here in Citrus Heights. And that's the Michalchuk family. And so just wanted to share that picture of them with you. And then jump into some of our outreach efforts, just to kind of share with you the different ways that we've been reaching out in the community. We've sent flyers home with every kid in the San Juan Unified School District, 21,000 flyers, postcards to 26,000 renter-occupied residences. So we did that for Phase 1 and Phase 2. Outreach to over 300 local businesses, orgs, and nonprofits. We've had a variety of media hits, both print and television, social media, both paid and organic ads, e-blasts multiple times sent to our database of 28,000, outreach events, and then information sessions. The first step in applying for our homeownership opportunity is to go to an orientation. We had over 500 attendees between the sessions for Phase 1 and Phase 2, and folks also attend those orientations virtually, so those numbers aren't captured in that. And then we'll be having orientations again for Phase 3. We also put utility bill inserts into SMUD and Republic Services statements to let folks know about the opportunity to be able to apply. And then the City of Citrus Heights was really wonderful to be able to create their own webpage and do some newsletter e-blasts and put the word out there on social. And so now we are coming up on Phase 3 applications, as I mentioned. We will be accepting applications for the opportunity to purchase one of 14 homes. So there's a lot of homes in this last phase. And we'll have available 2, 3, and 4-bedroom homes. Again, that application period opens February 1st and goes through March 30th. Folks can apply in person as well as online. And then we have 2 orientation sessions that are in person coming up at the Event Center just down the street. Coming up on Monday, January 26th at 6, and Friday, January 30th at 6. And as well, we'll have virtual orientations available. But I would love to ask for your help in helping to get the word out there in the community to the residents of Citrus Heights. You have before you, I believe, a flyer that looks like this. On the back, it shows the floor plans. So we've given you one just to be able to see, but we will make sure you all get this electronically as well, so that you can share it via email with any organizations, any individuals that you may know that would help us get the word out, as well as we'll give you a digital copy that you can use on social media. You can also just share our posts as well, but would really love your help getting the word out within the community of Citrus Heights, to hopefully attract more applications that are from here in the community. And you'll see the example there of the flyer. And then last but not least, learn more about the development or to apply. You can obviously just scan the code, or it's also on your application, your flyer, to learn more. And it's a great resource to be able to go there and learn more about what's required to apply for the opportunity to purchase one of those 14 homes that are coming up. And that is it from me. Happy to entertain any questions.
Any questions? Yeah.
Your family partners, what exactly, because I've gone down the street many times. I never see any, I see construction workers. I don't see family partners yet. So what jobs do they do?
They do all sorts of things. So we build Tuesday through Saturday, and we have volunteers Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just about every day of the week there's volunteers out there. You might not necessarily see them because they might be inside the house or behind the houses, but they do all sorts of things, helping us with siding, painting, landscaping, finishing, flooring, all sorts of things on the homes. And those family partners are right alongside with them, and doing that 500 hours of their own labor that they put into it is a great opportunity for them to see how their house gets put together, and be able to be better equipped to be able to take care of any repairs that may happen with the homes. I can tell you that right before the holiday, we had the opportunity to bring in, so let me back up for a second. Each family puts in 100 hours of their own labor to start with, and then after that 100 hours, they come in and then they draw from a hat the opportunity to learn which house they have the opportunity to purchase. So when they apply, they know where the development is. They know, what floor plans are
They don't have their house
available.
all picked out until after the 100 hours?
Yeah, so it's the first 100 hours is an opportunity to make sure this is a partnership fit that's going to work. So it is a lot of time to put in for them. We want to make sure it's going to work for them and for Habitat as a whole, and that they kind of have a good idea of what they're getting themselves into. So they came in and drew names to be able to drew addresses to be able to find out which home they have the opportunity to purchase, and that was a really wonderful opportunity to be able to do so. And so a lot of the families are already at 100, 200, 300 hours of volunteer labor already put in.
Hard hat guys, I didn't see families.
Well, we try to put a hard hat on everyone so they stay safe, protect the noggin, They're hard to tell. You know what probably is? They're out there and they're such pros now that you can't tell the difference.
Okay, that's it.
They're out there, I promise.
Mayor?
Councilmember Shaver.
Thank you, Mayor. 500 hours is a lot of time.
It is.
That is an awful lot of time. I love to hear the sweat equity that they get to learn about home ownership. They get to learn, if they're not handy already, they kind of get to learn what they can do. But 500 hours that's 3 months. If you were working full-time, that'd be 3 months. That's a lot of work. And I appreciate that they need to make that contribution to what they're getting. I think you're building a great clientele of homeowners there, so thank you.
It's one of the things we oftentimes see is they put in those hours, and yes, they're building their home, but they're doing alongside their future neighbors. And it's one of the things that I think is so beautiful about one of the outcomes. That's maybe not something that's on a flyer or on the website, but when you're building a community alongside with people, you really get to know your neighbors. It's not the person you just go to when, you need to put something in their trash can because yours is full. These are the people that get to know each other, and they're building that community of support. They become that family that you choose, and they're there to support each other through all sorts of things as the future moves forward and they become homeowners, and have a community to call home.
I love that. Vice Mayor.
Okay, so more of a technical question, and if you don't have the answer, it's okay. But I know that SMUD is doing this whole program about span panels where it helps to even further reduce the cost of electrification. And I see that SMUD's already done a whole lot for this, but I wanted to know, are span panels being included as part of the homes?
I am not familiar with the span panel. The answer is no.
Do you
See,
want
that's why I
them-
brought these guys.
Do you want them to be included? Span panels are smart panels that work in real time to reduce battery and efficiencies, to increase solar battery storage. So let's say if you leave your kitchen light on, there are ways that they can be connected. And SMUD's doing this really great program where it's actually Doesn't cost the residents anything as long as they're willing to like kind of sign on and say, hey, we want to study to make sure that this is something we can do. So it reduces the load, so we don't have to be like PG&E and have black and brownouts, right? We can actually keep we can actually keep our lights on here in Citrus Heights. And if it's something that Habitat is interested in, I know a guy, my husband, who does this.
Hey. That's interesting. We also have, we have a SMUD, our chair on the board is a SMUD staff member. And so I'll definitely have to ask about that. Tell me the name again, SPAN panels?
Yeah, SPAN, S-P-A-N. If you say it to any of us SMUD board member, they'll lose their mind because they just love it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Fantastic. Yes, Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm curious if you can speak to the application process and kind of what are the key factors that you look for in choosing the applicants and how that goes.
Sure. So the first step, as I mentioned before, is coming to an orientation. There are a lot of documents required. Those are listed on our website. It's very similar to when you apply for a traditional mortgage, all the pay stubs, bank statements, all that good stuff. But to qualify for a program, we're looking for qualified home buyers who are currently earning between 30 to 80% of AMI and can afford to have a mortgage payment. When the homes are purchased, those families pay principal, property taxes, and insurance. But we're looking for folks when they apply that are earning between 30 to 80% of AMI, and they're currently living in overcrowded or substandard conditions or paying more than 50% of their income and rent currently. So we look at those things as well as the willingness to partner, which is the sweat equity portion, as well as like working alongside the volunteers and helping us with outreach and marketing and things like that. You know, we look at those things, and then we look at the need. They apply. It's a lot of work to apply for a Habitat home. You know, it's like I said, a traditional mortgage, but it's more pay stubs and more bank statements. Because we want to make sure that the families that we choose, we're choosing families that are set up for success for the long term and have longevity of work performance and the ability to continue to make mortgage payments. We're looking for folks that don't have anything on their credit that's like a bankruptcy or delinquency, things like that as well. But that's the high-level version of it.
I'm just so excited that you're in Citrus Heights and that we continue to partner with you. It's really nice to see Sayonara Drive get a facelift, and I know there's been conversation of renaming Sayonara Drive to something that is more current and the current flavor of the neighborhood. So thank you for being a partner to the city.
We also would be interested in renaming it and bringing a new chapter to that street for the current residents and the future ones.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Next item is Department Report Number 9. The subject is Blight Flash Vote Results by the Economic Development and Community Engagement Department.
Thank you, Amy. Good evening, Mayor Lopez, staff, members of City Council. I'm Megan Huber, Director of Economic Development and Community Engagement. I want to start off by saying while the department is noted in this report as Economic Development and Community Engagement, this report really represents the entire organization. Blight is a category of work that, first and foremost, the information that we'll review has really started with council's leadership, advocacy, deep strategic planning work, and involves the entire organization, inclusive of the General Services Department, the Police Department, the Economic Development and Community Engagement Department, the Community Development Department, the Administrative Services Department, and Facilities. Did I miss anyone?
The residents.
As well as the residents. Thank you, Dr. Karpinski-Costa. Absolutely, a very important part of the equation. So the topic is on blight abatement and community beautification. And for those in the audience or viewing at home, FlashVote is a survey tool that we use to gather statistically valid community sentiment data. And in this category in particular, the city has set a standard for itself to benchmark our progress each year. And that is what this most current survey has done. So in order to have a base level of context and frankly reverence for the data that we're about to see, I'm going to do a quick flyover on the history of this category of work, where it began and where it is going, so that these metrics are reflective of the work. So starting off, as the city emerged from COVID and embarked on a new chapter of strategic planning to steward its future, council identified a priority area where progress was desired in the category of community image. And that was inclusive of blight abatement, community beautification, and homeless response and prevention. This snap is of a cover page of a very extensive document that most have heard referred to as our focus area work plan that presented an extensive series of recommendations for policies, programs, and projects to advance these goals. So really the takeaway here is this work started in 2022. And it is a lot. When I listed all of the stakeholders and partners involved in the progress of these goals, this is why. Because to advance, to move the needle on this really aggressive goal that we set to achieve community image beautification, it required a very comprehensive and diverse toolbox of policies and programs. That included our beautification crew, a 2-person proactive crew cleaning up and beautifying Citrus Heights, as well as the implementation and amplification, so our community knows about our app, See, Click, Fix, to easily register service requests and response for beautification and other needs. And that's our CARES campaign. That included collaborating with regional partners on corners that might be shared or just outside of our jurisdiction, that even though isn't technically us, is a welcome mat for Citrus Heights. That included our community health worker program, policies like a shopping cart ordinance, illegal camping on private property ordinances, along with others, the chronic nuisance offender program, as well as the re-implementation of our problem-oriented policing team. Not only for blight abatement, certainly, we know that they have a lot on their plate, but it certainly contributed to these initiatives greatly. So with this toolbox in mind, we kept really sharp eyes to measure progress, as well as really sharp eyes to share progress with our community. And this is what that progress looked like. These are some befores and afters of how these tools in the toolbox were deployed and the improvements that it made on the ground in our community. Some additional metrics that we shared specifically at the State of the City this year in 2025 were some annual metrics. So we're speaking about the year 2025. So this is a year of progress. There was a 22% decrease in beautification service requests. Now, while that sounds like the work may be lessening, that is not actually the case. What that means is that we have created momentum responding to beautification needs, which means we can now be more proactive and continue to advance the progress. Also compelling was a 32% decline in abandoned shopping carts. From a homeless response and prevention perspective, there was a 44% decrease in illegal camp-related incidents and a 54% decrease in loitering-related incidents. Great metrics all around that speak to the work. As I mentioned, the city has committed to benchmarking progress year over year so that we can measure progress quantitatively. And what you see here is a snapshot on the left of a question and from a 2022 survey. So that is what we would consider our baseline for benchmarking. And the snap on the right is from a 2024 survey. And I won't go into the details of the answer because I have a really compelling summary for you, but to orient us to the question, it reads, blight is a word used to describe abandoned and poorly maintained properties, visibly falling apart with junk, litter, overgrowth, etc. How well do you think blight is being managed in Citrus Heights today? And surveyees could rate anywhere from, on a sliding scale, from terrible, bad, okay, good, and excellent. They can also mark not sure. And what we can take away comparing the 2022 to 2024 survey is that community sentiment on blight abatement moved from unfavorable to favorable in just 2 years, which speaks to the success of that strategizing, mission orientation, implementation, and results of the toolbox that we just reviewed. And so we came to our next mile marker of benchmarking in 2025, and I'd like to review those results live with you. Okay, so when we're benchmarking data, it's really important that we are standardizing questions year over year. You'll find that this survey is 80% standardized. We changed a final question that we found no longer relevant because of this progress. It was question 4. And we instituted a new question specifically around homeless response and prevention so that we can capture that topic as well. So we would consider question 4 when we go to review it, our benchmark, our baseline point for benchmarking that will continue in future years. So this survey was taken by 392 residents, which means it has a statistical margin of error of plus or minus 5%. Question 1 should look familiar. This is the standardized question on blight that we reviewed from 2022 and 2024. This is the 2025 answer. And summarizing, we see a continued rate of progress year over year. So when asked how well blight is being managed in Citrus Heights, responses averaged at a 3. And you can see that summary number here at the top of the graph that is averaging all responses. And that means we are benchmarking consistently over last year at the same rate of continued progress, indicating that a majority of residents believe the city is doing a good job managing blight abatement and maintaining progress.
Megan, can you read that list going down the side? Because it's hard to see the light.
Yes, absolutely. This is the scale of response options. So terrible, bad, okay, good, excellent, not sure. And then there is also a table view for folks' viewing pleasure, depending on your preference. So that is question 1. Question 2 is when you think about the Sylvan Oaks library area in particular. I want to give some background really quick. This was selected as a topic of a question in 2023 and 2024 because it was identified as what we would refer to as a hot spot, meaning it had a consistent need for blight abatement and homeless response and prevention measures. So we use this as essentially a slice to be able to measure hotspot deployment effectiveness. So when you think about the Sylvan Oaks library area in particular, and then we oriented geographically by saying Van Buren, Auburn, Crossroad Oaks area, how do you think blight is being managed there today compared to a year ago? And the great news is we show continued response here as well. So the way we like to measure these types of questions is in terms of ratio of better to worse. And in summary, what we've seen is the first year we benchmarked this, we showed a 2-to-1 ratio of the city is managing this particular blight need well. What we saw last year was a 4-to-1 ratio, exponential progress. What we saw this year and what this graph summarizes is a continued 4-to-1 ratio. Now, I want to underscore also, 4-to-1 last year and 4-to-1 this year doesn't mean that we've received the same grade. What it means is we're continuing that same rate of progress, which is great to hear from our community. Question number 3 is, in the last 12 months, have you reported any blight issues to the city? Now, this might seem like not as valuable a question at first pass, but what it does is 2 things. Number 1, it can measure the effectiveness of awareness by residents of service reporting capability. And then number 2, it actually also serves as education that there is a reporting mechanism available. So what we see here is that not necessarily a meaningful increase in reporting, but there are parameter restrictions when we're considering this, given the maturity of outreach efforts, the fact that the campaign has existed for some time, campaigns do reach saturation, and that there are natural limits of voluntary reporting participation over time. Our goal certainly is that all residents engage. The reality is there are champions that engage more than others.
So when you had at the beginning, you had a percent of 42% fewer calls for service. Is this from this? Is that from this data?
No, that is from our own data. So measuring, quantifying service
Phone calls.
requests.
Okay.
And a shout out to our General Services Department that does all of that data gathering and analysis, because as you can imagine, it's a lot. So this is the new question that was instituted for 2025 results. And as I mentioned, we will continue that certainly in future years. Think of now compared to a year ago. How do you think the total amount of visible homelessness has changed in Citrus Heights, if at all? And I'll review the scale here. Options are see a lot more homelessness now, see a little more homelessness now, see about the same now as then, see a little less homelessness now, see a lot less homelessness now, and not sure. So when asked to compare visible homelessness today versus 1 year ago, summarizing, residents indicated a 2.5 to 1 perception of improvement, which is with 48% reporting progress compared to 22% who felt conditions had worsened. So essentially looking at the bell curve of this graph. And it suggests that a plurality of residents are observing positive change, which is great, related to the city's homeless response and prevention efforts. Last but not least, it is a standard of flash vote to have question 5 be any other comments or suggestions about blight or homelessness prevention in Citrus Heights. And while we can't necessarily quantify this question, it has really great quality data, and I highly suggest skimming through. The word cloud feature is a way to glean a quick summary of the entries in question 5. There is also a really cool new feature in FlashVote that you'll see here at the top, where you can click on a second tab for an AI-generated summary, which is really, really helpful. So that brings us to the end of the flash vote and the end of the presentation.
Just a point of clarification, can you scroll back to question 4? What was the result from last year?
This was the new question.
Oh, brand new, okay.
Yep.
Got it. Any other questions?
I have a little question.
Comments?
Could you print those, the comments are usually really cool that come at the end, and so they're really tiny on my computer. Could you ever print that and just email us a copy of what they say that's in at least a 12-point font or 10, something better than 6-point font?
I'd be happy to.
I'd like to read some of the comments that people made.
Yeah, the
Absolutely.
comments are really interesting,
I agree.
really, really interesting to read the comments, so thank you very much for this.
My pleasure.
Any other comments? Yeah.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. As someone who lives near that intersection of Van Maren and Auburn, I have definitely seen an improvement on all the four corners there. And I'm on there all the time on SeeClickFix. I encourage everybody to use that. See something, say something. It's really easy to use. I don't even use it in an app form. I just go to the website. And you don't have to submit a photo or anything. It's just a few steps. And thank you so much for the presentation. That was really informative.
Anyone else?
How do people sign up for the flash vote if they're not already signed up?
Excellent question. They can go to citrusheights.net/stay connected.
All right, thank you, Megan, for your report. Really appreciate it. I love seeing the progress that we've been accomplishing through our very specific efforts, so thank you. All right, look at that. Next item, please.
Next item is city manager updates.
Well, good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the council. Ash Finney, your city manager. I do have a few updates, and Happy New Year to you and the community. First meeting of the year. And just first, I want to acknowledge a lot of progress that's been made on those flash vote results. I mean, those are some impressive results, and then also some of the metrics and the lead-in that were born out of the strategic planning that we do as a team with city council and our executive team, and then executed by our entire staff. Those are some meaningful results. So just kudos to the team on that. Kudos to the council for putting together an ambitious plan that has generated results. So data matters, score matters to us, and happy to see those results. And thank you for the presentation on those. ADU permits. This is something we get questions sometimes of, hey, are there any accessory dwelling units that are happening in Citrus Heights? And so we want to just report out the ADU growth that happened over 2025. You can see kind of year-over-year summary in this table here on the number of accessory dwelling units these are permits that are pulled here in the city of Citrus Heights. And we also have a permit-ready accessory dwelling unit program. Of course, we have a acronym for that. And that's PRADU acronym. And that's a program where people can come in and get pre-approved house plans for an ADU here in Citrus Heights if they are interested in building one. So you can see the numbers in 2025. We had a number of 31 ADU permits, and 5 of those utilize those pre-approved plans, and you can see the summaries from prior years. But really, since that's been started, there's been 122 ADU permits that have been pulled here in Citrus Heights, with 27 of those utilizing the plans. And we do have a strategic objective that the council adopted at the last retreat to talk about ADUs and affordability, and that's going to be coming over the next few council meetings to you. Big Day of Service, the mayor mentioned this earlier in her comments. So Big Day of Service 2026, last year was our first year of participating as a city, and that's coming right up. So there's the Big Day of Service interest meeting that's going to be occurring on January 29th. That'll be the day after our next council meeting, so I'm announcing a little early, probably hit again on our January 28th meeting. But for members of the public that would like to participate in this great event, there's that interest meeting on January 29th at 5:30 p.m. That's at Sunrise Community Church in Fair Oaks. And I say it's in Fair Oaks because it is a joint event that we work with Orangeville, Fair Oaks, and Citrus Heights on, so. And businesses of distinction. So we have nominations that are open for our businesses of distinction, and this is all part of kind of our Love Local, Shop Local, support our businesses. These awards are ones that recognize local businesses that help strengthen our community, really drive economic results here locally, reflect our values, and shape our community character. The Winter 2026 Legacy Business Award, that honors businesses that have at least 15 years of service and have contributed to daily community life through long-serving service and connection. So these would be a business that, residents are near and dear to their hearts and kind of a big part of our community. But those nominations are open, so there's more information at the website you can see below at citrusheights.net/lovelocal. There's the nomination process is available, and it explains kind of the parameters around nominating these businesses. But those nominations are already open January 8th, and they close on February 6th.
Is this the same as best of?
It's separate and apart from that. So we definitely have multiple ways that we can honor our businesses, and this is one of them. So if you've got a business that you love to frequent, please come in and give them a shout out through a nomination. And then on Monday, January 19th, City Hall will be closed in observation of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then we'll be reopened on that Tuesday. And that concludes my updates.
Any questions for city manager?
Maybe, Madam Mayor, you have info on people that might want to volunteer to do the pit count? Do you have that?
Yes. So Sacramento Steps is recruiting volunteers to do the pit count, and what you need to do is sign up on their website, sacsteps.org, I believe. If not, you can Google Sacramento Steps. And the pit count, I don't have that information readily available, but that's coming up shortly. They always do it in the winter. So they are actively looking for volunteers for that. Thank you for the reminder. Any items requested by city council members?
I do.
All right, Councilmember
So-
Schaefer.
And this just kind of occurred to me. I think it's a great idea. I think it's worth exploring. We have so many city amenities in our city that I think a lot of people don't know about. Sunrise Rollerland is one that is really, it's pretty amazing that we have such a fine institution here that's been here for 50 years. But that's just one example of an amenity that we have here that we really don't think about. So what I'd like to suggest is that we talk about perhaps having a scavenger hunt where we actually would place prizes at various different locations, maybe coupons from sponsoring businesses, that sort of thing, so that it turns into a fun event where residents can come and really explore the city and see what amenities are here.
That's a good idea. That's a nice idea.
But you gave me the idea. You suggested it, so that's, I
All
think
right,
that would
sounds
be
like we have
really
a
fun
second
thing.
for that idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea if you can
Okay.
come up with a plan for it.
Yeah, well, we
We'll,
need to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll draft up a plan and bring it back to the council to talk more about.
We always are interested in fun. All right, anyone else? Okay. And anything else, Amy?
No, there are no further items.
All right, it looks like our first meeting of the year is nicely done, and I just want to thank everyone for starting the year off with us. See you around town, everyone. This meeting is adjourned.
And thank you for all my presents.
Now, if I can get rid of this cough sometime this month,